Good afternoon, dear students. In the last lecture, we have discussed on past continuous tense. I think we have completed how we convert active voice when the sentence is into past continuous tense into passive. But once again, we revise the structure of past continuous tense. Here use subject, where to be form which we used in simple past tense. Then buying 1 plus ing, the books, object, and from the bookstall, complement. This tense is where buying means past continuous tense. It's a active voice. At the time of converting it into passive, the books, its object, comes into the place of subject. Okay? Then was or where here, the tense is the same. There is no change in the tense of the sentence at the time of converting active into passive. That's why the books, it's a plural form. We use were. The books were. Then we use being, which is a main form of this before buy. Buy, bought, buying. Okay? Here is V3 form bought. B-O-U-G-H-T. The books were being bought. Then write down the remaining part from the bookstore. From the bookstore and then by you. There is no change in this pronoun. Okay? In this manner, we complete past continuous tense. Do you understand the structure of past continuous tense? Okay. Now let's see the next tense, past perfect tense. Past perfect tense. When the active voice is into past perfect tense, the structure of passive voice. Okay? See the example of active voice. Past perfect tense. I had visited that temple yesterday. I had visited that temple yesterday. I have visited that temple yesterday. This sentence has past perfect tense. Here, I subject had to be one. Perfect, then visited, V3 to be, then V3 plus that temple object and yesterday called predicate. Okay? Now, passive voice. The structure, passive conversion is here that temple. That temple. Write down the same, there is no change because it's a past. Write down, if the subject is in plural or singular form, write down the same, that temple had. But write down here, been. The temple had been visited. Visited. Write down predicate. After the V3 form, yesterday. By I into me. Means what? Here is the structure. When the sentence is into past perfect tense, the structure is subject plus had plus V3 plus object. It's a structure of active voice. And the structure of passive voice, object comes into the place of subject. Then write down had, the same to be formed. Then we use been. Then V3. If there is predicate, write down predicate after V3 form. Then by plus subject. Means passive structure, object, had plus been, V3 by plus subject. It's a structure. And with the help of this structure, you can solve active into passive when the sentence is into past perfect tense. Do you understand? Now we will read the one more example of the same tense. Then we will understand it properly. Okay? Then the next one, we had changed our habits. We had changed our habits. Now see, identify your subject, then to be, then changed, be then we use been. Then V3, there is no change in the V3 because it is already given in the active voice changed. Our habits had been changed by us. Okay, our habits have been changed by us. Okay, now see, here is past perfect tense. Subject had V3 object, then passive object had been V3 by subject. Means you will observe that at the time of converting perfect tense by active into passive, we use been. Okay, shall we start the next tense? The next tense is simple future. Now let's see once again the next tense, past perfect continuous tense, but there is no change of voice in that sentence. Okay, active into passive. So we deal with the next tense, simple past tense. Simple simple future tense. Simple future tense. Now here we completed 6 tense: simple present, present continuous, present perfect, simple past, past perfect and past continuous, 6. And here number 7, simple future tense. Okay. Now see the structure. What is the structure of simple future tense? Subject which to be formed we use in future tense, shall or either, will plus V1 means main verb plus object. It's a structure of simple future tense. Okay. At the time of converting it into passive, object write down the same to be verb, shall or either, will according to the subject or either object. Then write down here be. It's the most important. Be, then V3, V1 into V3 by plus subject. Okay. Now see here in future tense we use which to be formed, shall or either, will. But here I would like to give you one information regarding the using shall or either, will. Students, generally we use shall after the pronoun I and we. We use shall in simple future tense. Okay. But when the action is fixed, we will use will. At the time of fixed action, at the time of fixed actions, at that time we use will also after I and we. And otherwise the remaining pronouns means here he, she, it, he, she, it, they, you. We use shall. And also the name of any person, both will or either shall. What I say, generally we use shall be after these two pronouns, but when the action is fixed at the time we use will, and then he, she, it, they, you, all these remaining pronouns we use shall. Now let's see the examples. First example, we shall ask them about this picture. We shall ask them about this picture. We shall ask them about this picture. Okay, here I also we shall ask them about this picture. It's a structure of active subject shall to be formed, which is we use in simple future. Ask V1, here them, object, and about this picture, predicate. Okay. Now passive structure. Object, which here is object, indirect object. At the time of converting it into the passive voice, it comes into the place of subject, then into they. Okay. Then we use here will. Okay. I write down here will. Okay. At the the time of using shall or either will, at the then when the action is fixed we use will, and he, she, it, they, you, here we use will. They will. Then we use be. Then V3 form of asked. They will be asked about this picture. About this picture by we into us. They will be asked about this picture by us. In this manner, you solve this example. Okay. Now write down one more example of this same. It's very easy when you remember the structure first. Then it's very easy for you to convert active into passive or passive into active. A manager will give you a ticket. A manager will give you a ticket. Now see here, there are two objects. A manager subject will to be formed to be here. Give you and a ticket. Here you indirect object and ticket direct object. Means what? There are two answers. There are two sentences of passive voice. Okay. First of all, we take down the indirect object first. You. Then write down you will. Then we use be. Give V3 form. Give, gave, given. You will be given. Then write down ticket direct object by a manager. By a manager. Our first answer is you will be given a ticket by a manager, and then write down direct object into the place of subject. A ticket will be given. Then after that we write down indirect object, but before that we use the preposition to. A ticket will be given to you by a manager. Okay, in this manner, there are two answers of passive. When the active voice, active sentence has two objects. Do you understand? When the sentence is into simple future, the structure is subject, object comes into the place of subject. Then write down shall or either will, then be, V3, then by plus subject. You understand? Now let's see the next tense. Tense number 8, future perfect tense. Now remember, future continuous tense, there is no change the voice. Now listen carefully. Future continuous tense. When the sentence is into future continuous, there is no change the voice. Next tense, future perfect tense. Future perfect tense. And you know the structure of future perfect tense. Now see, when active voice is into future perfect tense, the following structure is used at the time of converting it into passive. Now write down first the structure of active voice. Subject plus which to be formed we use in future shall or either will. In perfect tense we use have, has, had. We use here have. Then V3 plus object. Okay. Subject shall, will, have, V3 object. Then the structure of passive, object comes into the place of subject. Write down any one of these two shall or either will to be formed. Then write down have. Then very important, see here when. After have, write down when. Then V3 plus by plus subject. Now see the structure of passive. Object shall, will, have, been, V3 by subject. Example, they will have each other later. They will have return a letter. Now see the structure. It's a structure of active voice. It's a structure of active voice. Okay. Now passive voice. See the structure. The subject shall will. Here will is used to be formed in future. Then have. Then be3. Then a letter. Object. Then passive. Which one is here object or letter? Then write down to be formed will have. Then been written. Already here V3 form is given. A letter will have been given by. Then to them. Means our answer is a letter will have been written by them. Okay. Now last sentence. Ramu will have killed a cat. Ramu will have killed a cat. Okay. Now see passive structure. Subject Ramu will have to be, then kill V3 a cat object. Now we start from a cat. Will have, then be now, then kill. Already V3 form is there. A cat will have been killed by Ramu. At the time of converting subject into subject of active voice into passive, if there is a name of that person, write down the same. In this manner, we deal with the future perfect tense. When active voice is into future perfect tense, the structure, this structure is used at the time of converting it into passive. Okay? Do you understand this structure also? Now listen. When here number 9, next is future perfect continuous. Once again, there is no change the voice. Do you understand? Okay. Now let's see the next one. Number 9, when the word followed by modal auxiliary means when the sentence has modal auxiliary. And I think you know which are the modal auxiliaries. Modal auxiliary. The word followed by modal auxiliary means when active voice has modal auxiliary verb, the following structure is used at the time of converting it into passive. But first of all, do you know the modal auxiliaries? Yes, shall, should, will, would, may, might, must, can, could, ought to, need to. These are modal auxiliaries. And now see the structure when the active voice has modal auxiliary. Which structure we use? The structure is subject, then modal auxiliary, verb. Here we say modal auxiliary verb. Then next step here, main verb, we say V1 and object. It's a structure of when the sentence has modal auxiliary. Okay. Now see what is the role of modal auxiliary? Modal auxiliary shows the attitude of a speaker and mood of the sentence. The attitude of a speaker and the mood of the sentence. It's a role of that modal auxiliary. Okay. Now when the sentence has modal auxiliary, the following structure is used in passive voice. First we take down object first. Write down the same modal auxiliary. Same which is used in active voice. The given sentence. Okay. Then write down be. It's a very important. Then V3 plus by plus subject. It's a structure of passive voice. Object, then after write down the same modal auxiliary, there is no change in that. Then write down B, then change by plus subject. Now see the example. I can play cricket. I can play cricket. Okay, it's active voice. Passive voice is here subject. Which model auxiliary is used here? Can. Play B1. Cricket object. Our passive voice is here cricket can. Okay, object. Then same model auxiliary. Then write down B. Can be. Play P3. Played. Can be played by me. Means our answer is cricket can be played by me. Okay. Now see the one more example. Rahul must sing a song. Rahul must sing a song. Here I write down. Rahul must sing a song. It's active voice. Now passive structure is a song. It's the object. Write down same model auxiliary must. Then take down be. A song must be. B3 form of sing, sung. Must be sung by. Write down same. Rahul. A song must be sung by Rahul. In this manner, it's the structure you should try to use at the time of converting a sentence with modal auxiliary into passive. Do you remember? You understand properly? Okay. Now see the next one is when the sentence means active voice has imperative sentence. When active voice has imperative sentence. Imperative sentence. Now there are two things. First one is that imperative sentence. Imperative sentence shows order, request, command, order, request, command, suggestion, etc. Imperative sentence shows order, request, command, suggestion. Okay? And the second thing is that imperative sentence begins with main verb. Imperative sentence begins with main verb. How can you find out the sentence is imperative? This one is a clue. Imperative sentence begins with main verb. Okay? And this sentence shows either order, either request, either command or either suggestion. Okay? Now see. Here the structure of passive, the structure of active voice. Main verb means V1 plus object means the structure of active voice of imperative sentence. Now at the time of converting it into passive, we begins with let. We begins with let. Then write down our object. After let, we write down object. Then B. And then B3. There is no by. Now here this type is very important active into passive. For example, open the door. Open the door. This one is the imperative sentence. Why? Because it begins with main verb. Here open is main verb and the door object. Here our answer is active voice. And then answer of passive let. It begins with let. Always remember this. Let. Then object the door. Let the door. Then write down B. B3. Opened. B3 form of open is opened. Okay? Do you understand? Now next example. Write a letter. Write a letter. It's a imperative sentence and our passive structure is let. A letter subject at the time of converting it into passive voice. Why? Because there is no subject in imperative sentence. It begins with only main verb. Okay, now listen carefully. Active structure of imperative sentence, main verb plus object, then passive structure, let plus object plus be plus V3. Okay, now see, when the sentence having order or request, when the sentence having order or request, I write down here, sentence having order or request. Please open the door. Here is my sentence. Please, comma, open the door. What is the structure? It's the active voice. Okay. What is the structure of active voice? Here, please. This word. This mention that it's a request. Then verb and then object. It's a active structure. Okay. Now at the time of converting it into passive, here you mention that you are requested. You are requested to open the door. To open the door. It's a passive voice. Now when the sentence having order or request means it's a word please. With the help of this word please, you will understand that it's a request. It's a structure of active voice. Please, then open is verb, main verb, and the door is, what is here? Object. Now the answer of passive, you are requested to open the door. Okay. Now next one. Please come in. Next example. Please come in. Okay. Now our answer is, you are requested. You are requested to come in. In this manner, you also convert the sentence into passive. When the sentence is imperative sentence, but especially the word please is there. Okay. Now the next one, attack the enemy. Okay. Attack the enemy. Now here this sentence shows that it's a request. That's why you write down into passive. It's order. So here you write down your order to attack the enemy. Okay. What I say, when the active voice is imperative sentence, but when the sentence having order or request, you will allow verb and object, you write down into the passive, or you begin with the passive voice with let plus object plus be plus V3 in this manner. Okay. Do you understand this topic also? Okay. Because of the time limit, I would like to stop here. Till then, goodbye.